What's up, everybody? Decided to make another video. So by now, I guess everybody's seen or heard about the 17-year-old chick getting slammed in South Carolina. I'm listening to this podcast, the Fat Mac podcast. Pretty cool. I like him. There's this homeboy, Nigga Fuchsias. Yes, that's his name, Nigga Fuchsias. And they're talking about the situation, how the black community has started taking away accountability, or has never really held accountability to a certain group of people. And I've said this, is just that like women aren't held accountable for a lot of the shit that they do. They want the rewards for it, but they're not held accountable. But that's what the jump up in feminism. And I was talking to my friend Cash yesterday on Twitter. I was like, listen, her whole thing is in feminism. And I've always said this, like, you're not gonna end an idea, you're not gonna end that. Like, this feminism's not going anywhere. It's not a bad idea, it's just the people who rock with it make it look really fucking stupid. But the thing I was saying is that feminism is gynocentrism politicized. And gynocentrism is female advocacy at all costs. And I tweeted, I was like, female advocacy being, hey girl, nothing's ever your fault from society. No matter what. And you gotta look at it like all the single mothers or where the fathers. Here's a situation that men face. And here's a situation that women face juxtaposed to it. If a woman's a single mother and the kid turns out to be great, all praises be to her. If single and the dad, nothing, gets zero praises for at least giving him his genetic DNA so he can do that shit. Unless the nigga was a midget, then that mom's dad or something. But if the kid turns out to be the next Charles Manson, oh, where's the father? It's his dad's fault. So I'm dealing with this issue. It's like, if the kid turns out to be successful, woman gets all the reward. She gets all the praises. If he turns out to be a fucking loser, oh, it's his dad's fault. Hold up, how the fuck you gonna blame the person who wasn't there? So either sharing the spoils or sharing the blame. If the kid turns out to be a fucking loser, you raised him. You raised that fucking loser. I can't be at fault for someone I didn't do. I have kids. If those kids fuck up, I can kind of get the blame for them. But if we're just blaming motherfuckers who didn't raise them, then we should start blaming every man for every kid turning into a fucking loser. Like, hey, I'm not even his father. Well, still, you're a man, so we're gonna blame you. The fuck? It comes in this lack of accountability. That's it. Like no one's gonna hold females accountable because there's no money in it. Like they're gonna push back. Anytime you try to hold a chick responsible or say anything kind of dissenting, they're gonna fucking freak out, especially if they're used to being coddled. But here's the kicker, because men aren't used to being coddled, the masculine mind, and I'm saying this masculine mind, which is intergender, feminine mind is intergender too, it doesn't matter. Like, the masculine mind doesn't need outside validation. It has internal validation. It's nice to have outside validation, but most guys, like say in work, you have a goal to set. If you set your goal, if you achieve the goal or exceed it, and then your boss goes, hey, good job. That's all you need. We don't need a party. We don't need the whole break thing. Like, no, nigga. Like, and if we don't reach it, we're gonna hear about it. That's the validation for us, is not hearing about it. That's it. Like, this is a goal that's been set in front of you. Achieve it. Here's the ways to achieve it. It's not like they're going, hey, this is what you have to do, figure it out. But you're never going to get you're never going to get women to give up feminism. You're especially never going to get them to give up gynocentrism. Why? The only way that'll happen is if women outnumber men, not even heterosexual men, just men in general, like 30-1. Like, it has to be a high-ass number. In like 10-1 in Alaska. Because there's more chicks than dudes. Which says a lot about females and says a lot about dudes. Guys will go to Alaska. Alaska. Unless you're an Eskimo then, or indigenous to there. They'll travel to Alaska to seek their fortune, strike it rich, live their lives, be away from every motherfucking body. The first explorers were never female. Females will never build society, nor will they save it. Like, if it makes a chick sad, she's not gonna do it. Especially for the greater good of society. If she's getting nothing out of it, they're not asked to sacrifice. But it's conditioning. It's men's fault we don't ask women to sacrifice. It's men's fault women got the right to vote without signing up for fucking selective service. That's not their fault. And they'll never repeal that. You'll never hear a chick like, hey, I want to sign up for selective service. Like, well, do you want to join the military? No, but just in case shit goes down, I want to, you know. Like, none of the shit that men have to sacrifice. That's how we've been conditioned. And gynocentrism has been conditioned into us. Like, it's always going to be there. It's never not going to be. So people get mad and saying, oh, we need damn feminism. Good luck, fat chance not going to happen. Because there's no incentive. People like incentives because it's not even about feminism or men's rights. Like, it's none of that. It's not even about that. It's the perks of society are going to go to one group, mainly, are getting used by one group. There's very few dudes on Section 8 just by themselves. There's no money in housing there. It seems like, oh, man's not nothing without a woman. That's bullshit. Because there's gay dudes that are doing pretty all right without females. And people take it like you don't, like, oh, he must be gay. No. What I'm saying is that I'm responsible for myself. I don't need somebody to be responsible for me. If someone says like, oh, you just need a good woman. Meaning, hey, we need somebody to make sure that you follow the plan. Like, I don't get where that comes from. Or take that back. Actually, I do know that comes from because it's still gynocentrism. Like, hey, you're doing well as a man, but you're not. Like, oh, you have $1 billion company, and you're not shitting unless you're a father or a husband. It's like, girl wants to be with you. But then make talk other shit like this. Like, I am who I am. I'm perfectly fucking fine. I set my own rules. I set my own standards. But you're gonna have situations where people are gonna question that. And a lot of dudes don't know how to react to it. Like, a lot of new mgtow always come back and like, yeah, we just need damn feminism. Like, dude, you're not going to. Say there's a government program where all you had to do is be alive to receive an extra $500 a month. But it's only for men. Are you gonna be like, hey, no, let's give that to women? No, you're not. You're like, oh, it's bet, let's take it. Hey, as long as gynocentrism exists, and long as politicians exist, or as long as government exists, there's always gonna be feminism. Always. Always. That's just how the cookie crumbles. Getting mad about it is bullshit. Right now, essentially, men are rats in a maze. Move within the maze. You gotta find your way. Because you still have to achieve goals. The MRAs will be mad at mgtow for us not joining in their fight to end feminism. But there's no better option for men. In all sense, like they're not advocating for men's rights. They're just trying to end feminism, which doesn't help men at all. Because it goes back to making us fucking workhorses. Back to us to paying for everything, having to be protectors and providers. No, we're good on that. And I saw this video talking about how mgtow be the end of civilization. Okay, no. You need 1 billion men to go mgtow. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Even if feminism becomes super toxic, it's not gonna happen. And what I mean when I say that feminism becomes super toxic, I'm saying that feminists bully white men, middle to upper class white men, because they can, because they have something to lose. They're not bullying rednecks. They're not bullying hood niggas. They're not bullying Mexican dudes or Cuban dudes that live in the hood. Like, they're only a certain sect of men getting bullied by feminists. That's what I'm saying. Feminism is not toxic. Go to any hood in America, the last thing you'll see is a chick coming up like, you're the oppressor. Bitch, you don't get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit. Like, and mgtow is like we're ignoring them. And my friend Cass like, if you ignore them, we're going to get bigger. No, they're not. They're going to get more angrier. But that's ignoring them is the best part, best point. It's the best thing you can do. Because if you ignore them, like I said, you can give them everything they want. Give them complete female supremacy. Until they're forcing men to marry them, you can't. Like, you can't do anything. You're going to go to jail. And these are afraid of going to prison. What you do? That are in there like, you know what? Let's not go to prison because I'm not going to jail. Like, what's gonna happen? Isn't toxic. It's annoying, but it's only annoying to a certain demographic. That's it. If you do a radical feminist every day, nigga, then your job sucks. Like, that's just it. Ignore them. Ignore them and force them to hold themselves accountable for their own failure. That's kind of where I sit on that shit. Peace.